Hello guys, how are we all doing today? Hope you're all enjoying yourself. Hope you're doing some modelling or even considering buying this kit, and we're going to get started on it anyway. So, welcome to the first update, and let's have a look down at the instructions and see what we've got to get done. So, I'm going to move the camera the whole lot. You see, look, way zoom in on John's eye and down then to the instructions. Okay, let's start off. We've got to get this section here done. Okay, and we're fitting the vision blocks into that. Before I fit them, I'm going to mask off the areas that I want to keep clear. Okay, then we're fitting on a kind of a cover piece for that. That's onto a hatch. I presume it's the driver's hatch. Okay, that then gets fitted to this plate here, which is more than likely the engine deck and the drivers and co-drivers hatches. Right, then we move over here to the main section, because these are sort of parts of one, and then we're fitting them to the main hull. Moving on, then we're adding more pieces to the main hull. Okay, and down here we're adding more again. Then we're starting on the suspension. Okay, so I'm going to get steps 1, 2 and 3 done, with their little subsections to be done as well. So once they're all done, we'll have a look at that and discuss it. Basically, any problems, how easy it was or how hard it was, if anything fitted, anything didn't fit, things like that. We'll have a look at that. So I'll get them done, and then we'll have a look at that. Alright, I'll just get myself a pointy stick there. Right, we're after getting the steps 1, 2 and 3 done. No real problems as such, and when I say as such, slight little fit issues. Okay, really on this piece here. Okay, this piece here, just left with a little gap, in there. Now we do have a gap along here as well on the inside. I'll show you in a second. You can see yourselves. There's a gap in here, but there is checked on the further down the line. There is another piece to go on the front here, but there isn't here to go on top. So I do have a gap here, and here it is. Okay, and if you see that gap, you see it is quite a nasty little gap. Whereas at this side, it's sort of in. Definitely isn't supposed to be there. So a bit of sprue glue filler. I won't go filling it now. I won't go filling it till I get further down in it, just in case there is something covering it over that I won't see. But at the moment, that's the only kind of gap there. Now I did try squeezing these together when I was gluing the whole lot together. It wouldn't go. It wouldn't sort of compress in any further. As you saw from this, there's a lot of these little structural pieces in there, keeping that nice and square, so there was no problem with it. It wasn't the fact that it warped or anything, but we do have a little gap there. No, there is that other little gap along here, but like I said, there is a piece to go on the front here like that. Other issues, there was another little issue. I'm trying to remember where frickin' was now. It's typical out of me, isn't it? I forgot what I was going to say. Trying to find it now. Oh yes, with these two front pieces here, the front, the halves of the sprocket, drive sprockets. There's a little pin sticking out, and there's a corresponding hole. Okay, so the pin is here, on the vehicle part. On the piece you attach, then there's a little hole for that to fit into. On one side, I can't remember which side it was now, but one side it matched up perfectly, popped on, great stuff. Actually, I think this was the one that matched on perfectly here. And when I went to put on the other one, when I fit, it did fit onto the hole, but this piece was definitely off. It wasn't level or anything. You could see it, that it was blatantly, it was off. Okay. Even when you looked at it from this side, in from the back, you could see that that it was out. Whereas here, it's quite perfect. But on this side here, it was definitely out. So what I did was I just snipped off the pins, stuck it back on, and made sure that I had it central. So I'm happy enough with that now. These pieces here, the shocks, a bit fiddly. There's 4 pieces to go on. Okay, a little cap here, 2, 3, the main piece. A little bit fiddly. And instead of, say, making them up and making 3 of them and making 3 of them and then fitting the whole lot on, just so I wouldn't get kind of mixed up, what I did was I did them one at a time. It's as simple as that. I made this one, then made 2 B's, went over here, made 2 A's and then a B. So they're all on right and I'm happy with them. Everything goes on nice and neatly and everything is grand. That's it really for any problems or things, and like I said, I don't even know if it's a problem or not yet with this gapping here. I do think I'll have to fill it though. I do think so. It's just ugly. But then again, like I said, I don't know until later on. There might be a piece covering over that. We'll see. If it needs a bit of filling, maybe a little bit of sprue will fit into it, because it's not a major gap, it's not a huge gap, but it definitely can't be left like that if that piece there is going to be seen. Okay, that gap is not, that's too much of a gap to have. If it's going to be, if it's visible, not visual, if it's visible, it has to be filled. So we move on. Okay. Our next step now is the wheels. Okay. We've got to make up our wheels. We have another sort of a toe piece, sort of something similar to this front section here. Okay. That goes on here. 5A goes on at the back. That goes on when we're doing our tracks. Now, I don't know if I'll do the tracks at this early stage, although we do have to fit the side fenders. So I'll do the wheels anyway for definite, okay, and I'll do any other little bits and pieces. There's a kind of a deflector here, similar to the Sherman. There's a deflector here at the back, which basically sends your exhaust downwards and things, so you don't end up with a big plume of smoke popping out the back of it. Fitting on the wheels, I'll make them up, and what I'll do is I'll use a bit of sorry watching this, not watching the screen. I'll fit the wheels, but I'll use white glue to fit them on, so therefore they can be easily just wobbled off. They'll come off without damage. Just for the case of getting the tracks done, fitting the track. Although I might do something similar to what I did with the last Tiger. I didn't really have any problems, and they came out perfect. Whereas I actually made everything on the vehicle and then painted the tracks when they were on, and they came out grand. There wasn't a problem with them, so I might go ahead with that again, and basically just make it as it says here. Just make it all up and paint everything afterwards, because you can get in there, you can get in there and paint it. So that's to be decided. You'll see now when I get on. So anyway, if I go on ahead with that, we've got the wheels, we've got our tracks, and we've got our side fenders, and that deflector here at the back. A couple of D-rings, a couple of other little towing hitches and things. So I'll go on and I'll get step 4, 5 and 6 done. When they're done, we'll have a look at that and we'll see how that worked out. And like I said, we'll see, did I go and do the tracks? Did I fit them on it, or did I leave them off? So like I said, I'll be back to you with step 4, 5 and 6. Okay, now there we have it with step 4, 5 and 6 done. Okay, we're after getting the wheels on, the tracks, which went on lovely. They really did. Decided to glue them in place. It's just as easy to paint them in situ than it is to paint them separately. I had no problems with them whatsoever. They went together beautiful, really well. Side fenders then, when they went on, our little gap along here seems to have diminished quite severely, so that's as good as gone. The back plate there, no problems with that, and we've got our little bit of mesh up in under there. Okay, that's where that little bit of mesh went, up in under that. Okay, very simple. It glued in place, absolutely beautiful, no problems with it whatsoever. So far the kit is going together brilliantly. It really is. Like I said, I had that little bit of a fit issue there at the start with this bit here, but I mean, that's slowly filling itself up. It might need a little bit of filler, but I'm talking minuscule little bit, just in there, just the tiniest little bit. Shouldn't cause any problems further down the line, you know. Right, so that was step 4, 5 and 6 for, like I said, we put on the wheels. Oh, I didn't put on this section, this piece here. This is one little piece I forgot to put on, and that piece goes on here. Okay, so I'll fit that. Quite silly to me to forget that. How did I miss that? I do not know. Okay, so we've got that piece to put on, but we've got the wheels done, we've got the rear plate done, and we've got the deflector, when you know, the exhaust deflector, that's all done as well, and we've got the side fenders on the tracks, the whole lot. So we go on now to the instructions. We've got, I'll bring this up a slight bit here, there we go, so we can get it in. Right, we've got step 7, step 8, 9, 10 and 11. Okay, they're the next steps to get done. I will get them done. And in step 7, we're putting in 2 vision blocks into the underside of the roof of that what should we call it, the gun housing section thingy-me-jig. Okay. Excuse me. Right, got to put in the vision blocks and the periscope section here into that. Okay, into the roof of that. Then we have our back plate. On the back plate then we've got our escape hatch door. Okay, or entry door, be it entry or escape hatch. Okay, so we've got that piece to do. Alright, on step 8, but before we do that we've got to build that up. We've got a little sub-assembly here to get done, where we've got to fit on the little centerpiece and a handle. Right, so then we've got that there. Right, we've got a couple of little more doldoides to go onto that, a few ladder pieces to go onto that, plugs there for gun pistol ports, I'd say. Right, step 9 has us putting on sort of copular rings and things for hatches and stuff, I think, by the looks of it. Okay, Step 10 has us building up the main box section, well, putting 3 sides onto it instead of the front of it. Okay, and in step 11, right, there's a dark panel there, so therefore that's a sub-assembly. We're putting together the breech and the all that mechanism there with the sights and things for the main gun. Okay, there she is there, we're installing that. Okay, and we're installing that onto the plate. So that'll get us up as far as step 11, and when I've got that much done, we'll have 2 things to look at. We'll have this box here, and we'll have the front assembly there with the gun mount. Okay, so I'll get them done, we'll have a look at that, and as again we'll have a little discussion on how it went and if there was any problems and things like that. So I'll get that done and I'll get back to you. And here we are, steps 7 done, 8 done, 9, 10 and 11, and the little sub-assemblies as well. Okay, so we have most of the casement, we call it a casement. Most of the casement is done. Okay, we have the gun ready to go into it, the breech is all made up and everything else, so we'll have a look at that. Okay, there's the main block of the casement. It's got its escape hatch door there at the back, all ready to go, let people out or in. The roof is done. Fitting wise, that fitted together lovely, actually it really did. Just kind of slipped together. Then we've got the breech section here. We have the gun and the breech itself. Now it is a bit on the flimsy side, I must say. I'm going to have to let that dry for quite some time. I have sort of, dry fitted it onto, excuse me now, I have sort of dry fitted it onto the casement there, and dry fitted it on the tank, or the artillery piece, or whatever you want to call it, the tank hunter, tank killer. And once that's all together, that should look quite nice. Okay, fits in nicely. Whoops, it easy. We get a view of what that's going to look like. Okay, so it's a quite a stubby looking work, big hefty job altogether. Right, so that bit is done anyway, so we'll leave that off now. Carefully take that off, get that dry, because the fitting down here, okay, it's just 2 little plugs, and it doesn't really hold it that solid. Okay, so you're relying on the glue to do its job, where it melts the pieces together and forms one piece when it's sort of dry and set. So I'm going to have to leave that dry for a while. Try not to play with it or anything else, just set it aside, and hopefully that will hopefully it will set up grand. Right, enough about that, let's get on with the instructions. There we go. That was a bit close for me today. Right, step 12, 13 and 14 to get done next. We seem to have a lot there in 14. But step 12, we're getting that casement totally made up, so we're adding this piece to it. There's 2 little bracing pieces, they've got to go on the ends. Same here and here. Okay, and we've also got some pistol port thingies, plugs, to get done. Okay, what they were basically just little plugs that if they came under attack they could just push them out from the inside. They were on a chain with a little T-bar at the end of it, so it just kind of plopped down. That's in reality now, not on this obviously, right? And if they had to cover it up again, they just pull the chain and kind of pop back in again, and they could kind of lock it in place inside. So we've just got 2 plugs either side and those 4 pieces in the front. So that's step 12. does show here on step 12, right, that we're fitting, because it says here, it gives some sub-assemblies, 12A and 12B, 12A and 12B, 12C and 12D. So therefore that means that to be done in step 12. But they're not fitted until step 14 up here. Okay. Which is unusual for it, okay, and we've got step 13 sub-assemblies here. They're all there, and we've got 14B, which is the jack. Now usually when they give the sub-assemblies, they give the sub-assemblies for what step that they're going to be made at. But obviously I'm only going by this saying, you know, got to leave it set for a while, so if you make them first, all the hinges and all that will be kind of set, glued set, and then after you've done step 12 and step 13, then you go fitting them in 14, they'll be all set and dry. It's the only thing I can think of. But there isn't, you know, when you look at it first, you say to yourself, God, that's quite busy, quite a lot to go on. But when you think of it, there isn't actually that much. There isn't that much there at all. Okay. So I'm going to get them done, right? And we're going to have a look at it at that stage. Okay. So bear with me. I'll get them done, and I'll be back here, and then we can discuss that. And that'll probably be the end of this video. We go on then after that, and we'll get the rest of it made up. And we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so I'll get 12, 13 and 14 done and get back to you. Okay then, now we're after getting steps 12, 13 and 14 done. Okay. I'm after getting the casement. We call it a casement, why not? I'm after getting the casement done. I'm after calling it about 40 different things at this stage, but we're going to call it a casement from now on. Alright, we've gotten that made up, fitted, little support pieces there on, parts box, tools box, I don't know, whatever it is, the block for the jack holder, front guard piece, whatever. We've got some covers here, the hatch is fitted, the jack and all that, they're all done, and the light holders, they're all done now. Okay, so all that's left, now I did say we'd finish it at this stage, but there's only 2 steps to go after that, step 15 and step 16. Okay, now there is quite a few little bits and pieces to go on to that. We've got the 2 covers for the vision blocks at the back, they got to go on. We've got a kind of a shroud here around the periscope, that's got to go on. The 2 motorbike passes, freaking assholes. Right, we've got this bar here, whatever it is. Crikey mac, I wouldn't mind, but they're flipping scramblers. They're not even road legal. They drive them up and down the fucking roads and the footpaths and everything. Never a cop around when you want them. Anyway, we got lights. The gun is to go on. Now, I'm not going to actually glue the gun into place. I'm going to fit it, and I'm going to dry fit it and have it all ready to go. And the reason I'm not actually going to glue it into place is because it's not a turret and you can take it off and get in underneath and all that. For painting purposes, I'm going to keep it off, and we can get the whole thing painted easier. So I'm going to have dry fit the gun. Okay. We've got the tow cables as well. They got to go on. Okay. Then in step 16, then we got the travel lock to go on. Whatever this little thing here is, I don't know what it is, but it's part of the travel lock. Right. That's got to go on. We're going to have the travel lock up with the gun held in. Alright, so I'm not going to bother with this section down here. So there isn't really that much more to do. I mean, it looks fairly busy, and that's purely because the drawing of the whole vehicle is there, but there is only a small few parts to go on. So I'm going to get them all done, and then the construction is finished. So let's have a quick look at where we are and all the pieces that we have put on. Right, we have the box, we have the light holders here and here. We've got the jack on, the jack block, that armour piece at the front of the gun, right, that's on, and we have the hatches, they're all in place. Okay, and we've even got a hammer. Got a hammer here at the side. So all that is done. Right. And I had no problems with any of that. Everything fitted on nice and neatly. Fitted into place, clipped in wherever it needed to be clipped in, and just went in grand. Small little bit of problem, I wouldn't even call it a problem, with these three pieces here. Okay. I had to kind of shave them just a little bit for it to sit in and sit down, because they were kind of overlapping, and this whole piece, but it was just kind of higgledy-piggledy, so I had to take them off again. Just shave a tiniest little piece off here and here. Okay, just here and just there. And once that was shaved off, then these three fitted in and slotted down nice and neatly. But that's it. That was the only kind of issues I may have had. And you know, overall, feck all issues. You know, that gap that was there is as good as gone. Just a tiny little bit of filling there for a finish. I can't even see any place else where it needs filling. Like I said, I mean, leave the filling till the end and it'll all sort of fall into place. So, I'll get them done. Okay, steps 15, step 16. And have a look at it, and we'll have an overall look at the construction of it. Okay. Okay then, there she goes, all the construction finished, everything done. Like I said, I haven't fitted the gun. Well, I have fitted the gun, but I haven't glued it in place. It's still loose. Okay, so that'll pop out. As I go to the side, up, remove the yoke bob at the end there of the shooty thing, and I can get it painted then, because the muzzle brake shooty thing isn't glued in place either. So overall, construction went well. No problems really. A couple of minor little fit issues, but they were so easy to fix. They're really not worth talking about. We had the sort of the fit issue here, but that's all covered up now with all the bits and pieces that went onto it, so therefore that's not a problem. A little bit of shaving to do up here on the on these pieces here, as you can see, but even at that, it was just a little bit of sanding, and I mean, that was grand. So overall, no problems whatsoever. Tracks were brilliant. These tow ropes, they're actually very, very nicely moulded and all that, and they fit perfectly. Look at that hook on there perfectly as well, and I stuck on my usual aerial onto that. So that's it for the construction. Next video now, we'll start the painting, so don't forget to stay tuned to the channel for that if you're interested, and of course join me on Monday for the bums, even though this week we had it on Tuesday. We had a butt, not a bum. So like I said, don't forget to join me for the further updates on the Ferdinand. Like I said, beautiful kit from ZVEZDA, very nicely made, nicely tooled and all that, and plenty of detail. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to join me for the further updates on it, and we'll start painting on that very soon. So in the meantime, don't forget, enjoy your modelling, have a nice weekend coming up shortly, and don't forget, buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it. Okay, enjoy it, that's the main thing. Enjoy what you do. So until then, I'll see you. Be nice to one another, stay safe.